So we resume now. I'll give you a couple of minutes to get settled. Okay, we resume. The first, continuing with the reports, first one would be the most important one, the policy SIG report. If I request the chair, Sumon.
Hi, good afternoon. So this time we have quite a busy policy SIG meeting. We have 3 sessions and we have 6 policy to discuss. So the 3 sessions, and these are initially for the first policy we have discussed is Prop 116, Prohibit to transfer IPv4 address in the final /8 block. And it has been supported by the community with some modification, and finally it's come up like that Prohibit transfer IPv4 addresses under final /8 address block, that is 103/8 block, which have not passed 5 years after its allocation or assignment. If the address block allocated to a LIR in 5 years, it is it's not needed anymore. It must return to the APNIC to allocate to another organization using the final /8 policy. This 5 years requirement will apply both market transfer and merging and acquisition transfer. So it is passed, gained consensus in the policy meeting. The second discussion was by Izumi Okatrin. There's a presentation on remote participation for SIG chair elections. So there are different, in the discussion, different proposals came up, and everybody supported that we should welcome the remote participation in the SIG chair elections, but it must be, there is some degree of identity checks, and proposals to make changes to facilitate remote online voting in SIG chair election to be discussed in the mailing list by the community, and anyone can come up with a very good proposal for that. In the second session, the first proposal was discussed is Prop 118, no need policy in APNIC region. And the proposal was to remove the requirement to demonstrate need when transferring IPv4 addresses into or within the APNIC region, exception where resources are from an area region requiring need-based policies, where recipient must provide a plan for use at least 50% of the resources in 5 years, would not apply to AS number transfers. This policy didn't reach the consensus, and there is some strong objection, and it returned to the mailing list. The author can take the feedback from the community and come up with a modified version of it. And there is another proposal, Prop 119, that create a possibility for temporary transfer that would allow organization to have resource directly registered under them while they're the custodian of these resources on the internet. But again, this also didn't reach consensus, and author requested to return to the mailing list with the feedbacks from the community. And then there is a presentation from Alan Duran from ICANN that report on domain name ITHI, the NRO driving the evaluation of ITHI. Paul also mentioned in his presentation. The RIA registry service have to propose a set of metrics focused on the data accuracy. Those metrics are now being reviewed by the RIA community. In the last session, actually, we have three proposals. One is Prop 120, final/8 pool exhaustion plan. After the exhaustion of final 103/8 pool, what should be doing in the recovered pool that was proposed, but the committee actually request author to come up with a modified proposal, and the feedback have been well received by the author. So it also didn't reach consensus. Then we have two proposals on IPv6 actually. One is updating initial IPv6 allocation policy. So there's in the earlier policy, there's a restriction that area should have at least 200 clients, but the proposal seeks to make sure policy is aligned with the wide set of possible IPv6 deployment cases and facilitate the justification of the allocation and assignment size in a bigger address block versus the default one is requested. And this proposal reached consensus, and now in the AMM for the members consensus again. And last proposal, Prop 120, the continuation of the Prop 121, that updating subsequent IPv6 allocation policy. The proposal seeks to make sure that the subsequent IPv6 allocation policy is synchronized with the initial allocation one. And this also reached consensus in the policy SIG meeting. And so among the 6 proposals, these 3, Prop 116, prohibit to transfer IPv4 addresses in the final/8 block, Prop 121, updating initial IPv6 allocation policy, and Prop 122, updating subsequent IPv6 allocation policy, gained consensus in the policy SIG meeting. I'll now request Chair
to
go for consensus in the members meeting.
Thank you, Sumon. Part of our PDP is once the policies reach consensus in the community policy SIG, we bring it up to the membership and the present community for consensus in the AMM. So I would like to call for consensus one at a time. Please provide consensus by acclamation. If there are comments, then I'll open the mic at the end of it. Prop 116, call for consensus on the policy proposal, prohibit to transfer v4 addresses in the final/8 block. No objections? 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Prop 116 will proceed to consensus. I have a note attached to that policy. Again, I'm looking at the legal counsel. But this policy actually changes how transfers are done. So as of now, the EC has made a decision that transfers will be withheld, all transfers concerning that are impacted by this policy until the policy is fully implemented. So there'll be a temporary restrictions on transfers from addresses in the 103/8 block. And we'll circulate that on the mailing list effective immediately. Next proposal consensus call, Prop 121, updating initial IPv6 allocation policy. Again, please approve consensus by acclamation. Any objections to this policy? 1, 2, 3. Looks good. So I'll say Prop 121 has achieved consensus in the AMM. Next one, Prop 122, updating subsequent IPv6 allocation policy. Again, I'll request the AMM to provide consensus on this by acclamation. Any objections? 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. So Prop 122, updating subsequent IPv6 allocation policy, has now reached consensus in the AMM and will proceed forward. Back to you, Sumon.
Thank you, Gaurav. So this proposal will now again go back to mailing list for final 4 weeks comment period. So if you have any comment on those proposals, supporting or any modification, whatever it is, you can actually post to the mailing list. So I think within a week we'll be posting to the mailing list and for 4 weeks comment period. And that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sumon. Okay, we are now 5 minutes ahead of time. Good. Now I would like to request Dr. Govind to report on the cooperation SIG.
Chair. So this is the session on the corporation SIG part of the APNIC. Here the theme this year was this APNIC meeting was the trans-border cooperation on cyber security. As you are aware, the trans-border nature of the internet requires the cooperation to be a critical component of cyber security. This session aimed to bring out different perspectives to the nature of cooperation on cybersecurity between various stakeholders to combat cross-border cybercrime and reduce the risk of cyber war. So, as a chair, I gave initial, I will just give the, so the co-chair, Mr. Billy Chon, from Korea KISA gave a brief on the initiatives of the KISA towards cross-border cyber cooperation. The main highlights of this were working towards a global model on cybersecurity, collaboration with World Bank and alliances formed, and alliances with 53 countries spread over Asia and African region. A secretariat has been formed, set up on technical know-how exchange and training part by KISA.
Can you help him with the buttons?
Yeah. So we had 4 panelists in the discussion. The first panelist was Henry Wu from TW Taiwan CERT. He gave an overview of the present and the future information sharing and analysis center in Taiwan. Information and intelligence is shared between law enforcement agencies, ISPs, academia, National Cybersecurity Defense Network has been established, covering critical sectors like energy, transportation, telecom, banks, etc. Future developmental work looks for strengthening and promoting these sectoral sectors, CERTs like ISACs, the information sharing and analysis centers for the energy sector, telecommunication sector, financial sector, academia sector, and how to make them more responsive to the various issues coming up as a cyber crime investigations and proliferation of the internet in this area. Next speaker is Mr. Jesse Sowell from the Stanford Center for Cybersecurity. He talked about his highlights of the silent points on the messaging, malware and mobile anti-abuse working group mission in terms of anti-abuse norms and best practices. He talked about outreach efforts in the LACNIC countries, African countries and AP regions, as well as engagement with law enforcement agencies. In February of last year, this group worked on the Growth and Development Committee invested in a program to develop independent anti-abuse working groups in these regions, and he is also looking for engagement with the AP region for these anti-abuse working groups. Next speaker, the Chi-Hu Cho from the Department of Cybersecurity, Taiwan. He made a presentation about current conditions and challenges of the cybersecurity in Taiwan. His talk covered 4 main sections: the introducing the cybersecurity overview of Taiwan government. It focused on national Information and Communication Security Task Force and its works. Next, it is describing the cyber attack trends, including advanced persistent threats, botnets, etc. Then the third part of his presentation was on some real cases. Analysis was done, which has been there in Taiwan for the last few years. Finally, he brought out the challenges and suggestions about the trans-border cybercrime areas. Some of the suggestions were to facilitate trans-border law enforcement exchange, their visits, to establish a platform to record the malicious domains or IPs, provide the query records of root DNS servers, help law enforcement agencies block malicious domains, establish contact window for intelligence exchanges. The last speaker from Jiten Jain from India, he talked about the crowdsourcing to solve cyber security problems by proposing a model of cyber security framework and involving the experts and knowledge entities in the security area to come up with a solution like we do in the crowdfunding or the crowd project implementation nowadays, which is the trend. So he suggested this perspective to resolving or solving the cybersecurity issues which are global in nature. Adley from APNIC, he also said about the cooperation SIG is a platform. Is important for us to be aware about efforts and initiatives in the region so that we can support and do not duplicate the efforts. He gave the example of APCERT for collaboration to mitigate security incidents. So in the last 2 years, APCERT, FIRST, and Security Response community have been organizing events at APNIC conferences in the effort to extend the cooperation and collaboration model. Thereafter, while interacting with the community, I think Paul brought out the earlier cooperation SIG, one of the presentations on the Manila principles of intermediary liabilities, which talks about the content takedowns and the implementation strategies for ISPs or intermediaries to work in this area of cybersecurity by working collaboratively with the content platforms, law enforcement agencies, and ISPs. I think this is all for this cooperation session. For any question?
If any questions or not, thank you, Dr. Govind. I'll have to point out that all the SIGs at APNIC are open for participation. So whether you are able to attend the session or not, you can always participate in the mailing list and interact on the topics during these meetings or between the meetings, and not just wait for the meeting to happen. So the next one we have Ching Hang presenting on the IPv6 readiness measurement.
And good afternoon, everyone, and thanks, Chair. I'm Jinghan from TWNIC. I will introduce the IPv6 readiness measurement report. And this report originally delivered by the Chair, Shen Xiongzhen, but he is not available right now, so I make this presentation. And this BOF is held on Wednesday. And we very thanks 6 speakers talk about IPv6 process and the challenges in the IPv6 measurement. There are more than 80 attendants in this BOF. And first, speaker is Jody. He talked about the Euro and the LACNIC status. He introduced the action of some European governments introducing some specific laws used in Spanish case to make sure public networks are IPv6 ready. And he also introduced the action of governments to enable IPv6 in public network. He also showed the disparity of the user availability in Europe and the LACNIC. The second speaker is Tomoshiro Fusaki-san from NTT. He introduced the NTT IPv6 services, including IPv6 Internet Access Platform and IPOE, PPOE, and IPTV. He introduced IPv6 deployment issues in NTT, including the last mile and the transition of the existing IPv4 users and the applications-related issues. In summary, the NTT group has been implementing the IPv6 widely. And the third speaker is Jiawei Zheng from Zhonghua Telecom. He introduced the current status of the Zhonghua Telecom IPv6 deployment. He introduced the IPv6 testing service in Zhonghua Telecom laboratory. He also introduced the Zhonghua Telecom IPv6 milestones, in which the public wireless LAN and the LTE IPv6 trial. That is run in this year, and the 4G LTE plans to IPv6 commercial service will be run next year. And the 2-3 from APNIC, he introduced the Vietnam's status. Vietnam's national IPv6 action plan, in which the 2016 to 2019 is in the accomplishment phase. And she introduced IPv6 promotion activities. For example, APNIC IP member meeting, VNX, NAC, and the press and the training. IPv6 traffic and the users are rapidly growing in Vietnam, as long as the ISP provides IPv6 services to customers. Vietnam has the IPv6 promotion policies on legal document. The Ajay Kumar from Mumbai IX, he introduced Indian status. The IPv6 capable of usability in India is around 50%. It's level is ranked 2 in the world. The Radius Geo is running on IPv6 from its first day, and 100 million plus LTE customers are on IPv6. Internet exchange points in India, such as the NICS and the Mumbai X, running on dual stack. There are many IPv6 awareness programs in India. For example, the hands-on training and the seminar. The last speaker involved is the Genda Chai from APNIC. He introduced the Taiwan status. He updated the status of the IPv6 upgrade in Taiwan's government, academic, and the ISPs. He also updated the status of 3 common measurement criteria: IPv6 allocation, BGP advertisement, usability, and the serviceability. And the data analysis of IPv6 readiness in Asia Pacific regions. In the IPv6 allocation and BGP advertisement, the average of this criterion in this August has arrived at 26.7%. And the annual growth rate is about 0.6%. In the serviceability, the average of the serviceability in this August has arrived at 13.28%. The annual growth rate is 0.34%, And Japan and South Korea has a larger growth rates. In the usability, the average of the IPv6 usability is in the end of August has arrived at 10.98%. Its growth of 4% this year. Indian jumped to 50.46%. So the growth rate in the criteria of the usability shows that most Asia Pacific countries made big progress in the IPv6 deployment. And more than 30 organizations has given presentation in previous meetings. We will continually invite more CCTLD registries to participate in the future BAF meeting. Different methodology and the criterion of readiness measurement are very welcome. And thanks for your listening. And you can use in the mailing list and the website of the BAF to contact us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Singheng. Very, very interesting set of presentations in the IPv6 measurement. Jump from roughly 10% to 50% is a massive jump. Hope to see that with other countries as well. Next one is my favorite topic for today. APNIC 2018 update by Rupesh Shastra. Well, Rupesh is coming. If some of you or any one of you haven't received one of the postcards, come and see me, and we'll give it to you.
And I have stickers too. Okay. Good afternoon and namaste. My name is Rupesh. Is there a moment? Okay. My name is Rupesh. I'm sure most of you are aware that APNIC 2018 is going to be hosted in Kathmandu, Nepal. I've also marked the date so that you can note it down. Just to go through the presentation, how many of you know about APNIC 2018 in Kathmandu? Can you raise your hand? Oh, makes my life. Can I skip my presentation? I think. Okay. Okay, APNIC 2018 would be, Internet Exchange Nepal would be the host for APNIC 2018. APNIC45 as well as SANOG 31 will be combined together with APNIC 2018, so it's going to be a big event. Additional, with of course, additional support from local organizations like NPNOG, NREN, and various government departments. Just to give you updates, the registration for APNIC 2018 will start from 1st of October with some early bird discounts. Fellowship will start from 7th of October 2017. For those who are interested, you can just pass on the message as well. Website is up, so 2018.apricot.net. You have a lot of information already, and we'll be posting more information about the event. Some of the programs have also been finalized, so you can go through the website and see some of the details that are available, and more will be available soon. Just for the information, as unlike other previous events of APNIC and APNIC, this time APNIC 2018 conference will start from Sunday. So you might want to take that note. And it will be from 25th of February to 28th of February. Immediately the next day after the event, 1st of March, is the big festival in Nepal, which is called Holi. It's a festival of color. So I would recommend all of you to spare some more time to celebrate the festival in Nepal, as well as spare some more time to travel to different places around Nepal. Just to give you a brief about Kathmandu. Kathmandu is a UNESCO heritage site with a rich culture and a lot of historical places to visit. Natural beauties, a little bit far away from the concrete modernized lifestyle, and a lot of adventures and trekking and all those things. And of course, just a note, the Mount Everest is not visible from Kathmandu. As the disclaimer. But there are mountain range that is visible from Kathmandu, and you can take a mountain flight as well, which takes you across the mountains. And for the information, 8 out of 10 highest peaks in the world is in Nepal. So there is also like a mountain helicopter flight, which will take you from Kathmandu to the base camp of Mount Everest. It's around 45,000 meters height, and then they'll treat you with the breakfast in Everest, along with champagne, and you can fly you back to Kathmandu after that. And another interesting thing is there are a lot of momos. So just for the information, if you don't know what momo is a dumpling, but a different ingredients inside it. So it's in technical language, you can say that it's the kernel is different with a little modified kernel of the same version of dumpling. The travel information, visa, you can apply online, or there are kiosks on arrival also for most of the countries. Visa fee is $20, and those countries which has a little problem with the visa processing, they can communicate with us. We can help facilitate and see how we can facilitate and make it easier for you to process your visa. And those who can go to your consul to avoid long queue in the airport, you can just process it in the consulates or embassies in your country. It's not difficult as you think to travel to Nepal. It's not that rural too. There are direct flights from 25 different destinations. All the countries that I've listed down have direct flight with Nepal. Top few destination connecting hubs are, you can come through via Bangkok or Hong Kong or Doha and other few countries, Malaysia. We have a team over here, and feel free to talk with anyone. Guys, if you can stand up, if you can feel free to talk with any one of them. You can see their faces. So if you need more information, thank you. Thank you. If you need more information, just feel free to approach them and get more information about APNIC 2018 as well as Nepal. Thank you very much, and see you next year.
Thank you, Rupesh, for the nice presentation. We'll definitely see you in Kathmandu, which also happens to be my hometown. So you're all welcome. Next one, we'll talk about APNIC46. Our friends from OPT, New Caledonia, Oxons and Gael will do a presentation on APNIC46.
Thank you.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
First, we really want to thank the APNIC team and the local host, APNIC, for this organization, beautiful. We are very happy now to welcome you in September 2018 in New Caledonia for APNIC 45. 46, sorry.
In New Caledonia, where is that country?
In the Pacific Ocean, between Australia and New Zealand.
I cannot see on the map, it's too small.
Yes, it's true. It's a listed island, 400 kilometers long. And Nouméa is the capital city.
Nouméa, it sounds so French.
French? Yes. It's a French story. Maybe you can hear my French accent.
Yes, I can. How do we go there?
By plane, of course. There are lot of connections via Singapore, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Osaka, Sydney, Brisbane, and Melbourne.
We welcome all the delegates to a small but digital and highly connected island.
It's true.
So what?
So what? Merde, je suis perdu. We are far away from everything, and we need to deploy high-speed internet network.
I can see on the slide that the OPT is deploying 4G network, fiber to the home, local and international submarine cables, and also implementing IPv6. So the venue will be perfectly high-speed connected, right?
Of course. The workshop and conference will take place at Le Méridien.
I'm pushing the button.
Le Méridien, and also the Royal Terra,
Chateau Royal.
Chateau Royal, the beautiful hotel.
Good. So delegates, I think you really should extend your stay in order to enjoy what our paradise has to offer, because there's so many things to do, right?
Right, there are so many experiences to live. Diving, fishing, surfing, trekking, dancing.
And dancing.
Would you like to see a video? Thanks for the New Caledonia people. Delegates, we are very happy to welcome you next year in New Caledonia for the APNIC 46.
So it's not a fake news. You remember in 2014, we were supposed to be. Now the dreams come true. So APNIC 46 has to be in New Caledonia. So please don't forget your bathing suit.
And your sunglasses.
Au revoir et à bientôt. Merci.
Au revoir et à bientôt. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. And this is definitely not fake news like the last time. We would actually like to extend a special thanks to OPT because they've been a very consistent sponsor of our meeting for quite a while now. We had a setback many years ago, but finally it goes full circle, right? So, and as the French say, au revoir, see you next time, right? Thank you. Now we go into an open mic. Let's see, we are sort of 15 minutes ahead of schedule. So if there are any questions or things, or anyone has anything that want to talk about or bring, or you're just want to go to the night market, finish the conference early, have this stinky tofu. If not, if there is no one, we have someone finally.
Hello everyone, I am Tilina Patrana from Sri Lanka, a fellow for this APNIC44. Just wanted to give my thanks to everyone, especially the sponsors who sponsored us, TWNIC, Google and ISOP. Also a small thing on our workshop, what we did. We were engaged in SDN workshop. I was engaged in SDN workshop, and it was the first time for APNIC, I think. So thank you, APNIC, for giving us that workshop and the marvelous opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Sonny? Okay.
Aftab Siddiqui, Internet Society. I would like to take this opportunity to thank APNIC for an amazing fellowship program. As being a sponsor, I can proudly say that money well spent, and I can see the enthusiasm of all the fellows, and I hope you can keep running this fellowship program as perfectly as you are doing at the moment. And on that note, I would like to thank all the APNIC team who is running the fellowship program, especially Sunny. Amazing job. Thank you so much for doing this for all the sponsor and for Internet Society. And thank you so much, APNIC.
Hi, I'm Marjorie from the Philippines and one of the APNIC 44 fellows. First of all, I'd like to thank APNIC, TWNC, Taichung City Government for the warm hospitality you've extended to our stay. I'd like to thank Sunny for the arrangement. It's really an opportunity I shouldn't miss, just as my mentor told me before I fly out. The workshops were fantastic. I honestly had a hard time choosing which I would take, but eventually settled for the SDN, and it was really a great opportunity to learn from the gurus, the experts from APNIC. The conference gave us the industry updates, and I'm so glad to be able to see the collaborations happening. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Hasna Khairunisa. I'm from Indonesia. I'm a youth fellow and I represent all the youth fellow, 9 fellow from youth fellow, and all the women fellows in the, 24 women fellows from this APNIC44. And I would like to say thank you for TWNIC and Taiwan for us to being here. I was really happy to try free bicycles, to try the night market, and also the free bus. I don't have that in my country. And beside that, I would like to thank you very much for APNIC, Google, Internet Society for this change. To me, before I joined this APNIC, I don't know what is going on behind the internet. I don't know what is going on the real world of internet, the changes, the, Google, the job opportunities for women especially. And for 5 days workshop about Linux server administration, it gives me so much a new knowledge about behind the lesson that I get in my university before I attend this workshop. And the conference, it might be complicated at the first time, but I'm sure if I attend it for 2 times or I read the mailing list, I will know about that more, and I will be very glad to join the APNIC membership. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Owen from the Philippines, also a fellow for APNIC44. First of all, I'd like to extend my thanks to APNIC, Google, Internet Society, and the sponsors, TWNIC, and Taichung City. It's been an awesome experience. To be honest, my background is in software development, and I just recently shifted to network for the last 2 years. And being in this conference made me see that, working on the network is not just limited to giving connectivity to where you belong, to your school or to your university. I've seen firsthand through this conference that there's a lot of work being done in just to secure or to establish proper network standards. And going back, I think one takeaway that I'll have is, to further push for any advocacies that the community would be really pushing for, especially in my locality in Cebu City, Philippines. So thank you so much.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Patrina from Telecom Malaysia. I'm one of the fellow for APNIC44. I would like to say thank you so much for APNIC and also all the sponsors for this opportunity. I would like to say thank you to all facilitators for APNIC44 because from my experience, they're giving their all out in sharing the knowledge to us. So in my opinion, it's not how many times you being a fellow or how many times you attend international conference, it's what you bring back to your country and how you can benefit your country. So thank you again for this opportunity.
Hello, my name is Mohammad Fat Khan. I'm from Pakistan Cybernet company. As all the fellow students talk about the thanking and everything. A point that I would like to share with you people is that technical knowledge is a thing that you can probably get at home. More of the things you go through the books, go through the mailing list. But the collaboration, the socialism, the talking to the gurus that are sitting on the stage, and especially the policy seg, that just literally, it was so much good that if I'm not saying that I would like to come as a fellow, and I am not as a fellow here this time also, but I would like to join it afterwards too, to get more involved in this society and to take something back to my country and provide something to this organization too. Thank you.
Hello. Khalil Azizi from Afghanistan, IT Professionals Association of Afghanistan. Sunny? Yeah. Uh, I'm not here to thank you. I'm here to give credit to APNIC. When I joined APNIC, I really like you guys, who are the new fellows. We also didn't know that what is SIG, what is NOG, what's going on in the policy, what's going with the AP version 6, and all those things. But after attending APNIC in Colombo, Sri Lanka, APNIC42, I'm a returning fellow. When I went back, I have the credit to organize and conduct the first IGFA of Afghanistan and AFSIG of Afghanistan, Afghanistan School on Internet Governance. And now, on my return, we have planned to do AFNOG. And this all credit goes to APNIC. Sunny, Gaurav, Paul, Jeff, whoever, I don't remember the names at all, but thank you very much. And this is not a thank you. I'm giving this credit to APNIC to make us able to understand what exactly is going on and to help nationally, regionally, and internationally for the motto of APNIC: secure, stable, available, accessible, and all this thing. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, all the fellows. Sunny, I think you've done a good job. We had 48 fellows this time, which is a record as well. We also had lots of records. We had a lot of participants. I just don't know the number offhand. Just before I hand off to Paul for the vote of thanks, how many of you are first-time attendees at the APNIC meeting? Just wow, that's quite good. And thanks for your patience on staying throughout the meeting and attending the policy discussion. I think from what I've seen during the week, we had some very rigorous policy discussion, which is a very, very dry subject. And as newcomers, if we can keep you interested in the policy, then I think as a community we are doing something well. The policies are important because we all work on the internet. The internet was built based on community ethos. If you remember Paul's slide from earlier, if you need numbers or addresses, go to John. That kind of similar way of thinking about, hey, if you have a problem, go to talk to someone and we'll find a solution, still goes on. And that is reflected in our policy process and the amount of interaction we do. So thank you very much. And I'll hand off to Paul for the official vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Gaurav. And thanks for those wonderful comments at the open mic just now. It's really, really special to hear from the fellows in particular. Thanks for coming. I hope you'll be back. So at this point, we've got a few people to thank. Firstly, TWNIC, our host, along with the Taichung City government. Of course, we could not do this or hold this meeting without your support. So I think we've got a gift or two to present. Mr. Liu from the Economic Development Bureau. If you could come up, I'd like to say thanks. Congratulations so much. So this is successful. TWNIC, Ai Chin. Thank you again. Thank you. being our fifth time in Taiwan. I think that's the fifth time we've had TWNIC helping us, and that's fantastic to have you back. Thank you again. Okay, now we have platinum sponsor is Oracle. There is no rep from Oracle here, but they really deserve a big round of applause for that level of support. That's, thanks in particular to David Huberman of Oracle. David, if you're out there, thank you. We have gold sponsor HighNet. Is Jack Wang in the audience? Thanks to HighNet. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Now, after your very funny, engaging, and extremely enticing performance before, I'd like to ask OPT, Alphonse, and Gail, please, as community sponsors, making a great contribution. Fantastic presentation, really.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll see you. See you. The other community sponsor, Yahoo. I think we don't have a Yahoo representative, but thanks very much to Yahoo. I'd like to ask AFTAB to return to the stage for Internet Society for community and fellowship sponsorship. Thank you. And I think we're missing Google, but thanks again also to Google for the community and fellowship sponsorship. And just one more to ask to the stage for the silver sponsorship from APGI. Pak Jamal or Pak Ben? Either or both? Okay, not anyone else from APGI? Wheater's run out to see what we can find. This is for APGI. Thank you so much for your support. There we are. So just stand in the middle here. This guy here. Thank you. Please pass it on to So next, I'd just like a big round of collective applause for bronze sponsors, please. CNNIC, Gandhi.net, ICANN, IPv4 Market Group, JPNIC, KISA, NS Focus, Paracom, and Chief Telecom. All together, thank you all for your sponsorship. And I think we have a group photograph for all sponsors, actually. Yes, so if all the people who have just been on stage could return with the bronze sponsors, then I think we've got an opportunity for a photo. I'm not sure, where are we going to put everyone?
I think what we'll ask is sponsors, please don't leave yet. And then we'll do a photo in the front at the end. Thank you.
Very sensible. Thanks, Gaurav. Also, a few more. Thanks to the Policy SIG Chair and Co-Chair, Sumon, Ching-Heng and Bertrand. To the NIR SIG Chairs and Co-Chair Shiam and Sen. Cooperation SIG Chair and Co-Chair Dr. Govind and Billy. Thanks to APIX for being here en masse for your regular meeting. Thanks to those who are behind the IPv6 readiness measurement BOF, all of the speakers, moderators and workshop teachers. Thanks to the NROEC election chair, Vincent, to the election scrutineers, Arthur and Ingrid, to the program committee, the chair, Professor Chen, Alicia Goring and the committee members. To the fellowship committee, especially, I'd like to say to Sunny, as the driver and engine behind what's become a very successful thing. Steno captioners, Nikki and Hillary, first timer. I would like to say, especially personally from me, thanks so much to the APNIC EC for their support, to the Number Council, to APNIC staff, RAR colleagues, fellows and guests, and to all of you. Thank you very much for attending, participating here in the room during the last few days, also those coming in remotely online. Thank you so much to all of you for making this week a really great success. Thanks. We know where we'll be next time. We will be in Kathmandu. We will be in Numia. We'll be in Daejeon. We'll be in Chiang Mai. So until then, please do stay in touch. I think right now we've got the right photograph of Kathmandu. Is this Kathmandu this time? Anyway, that's where we'll be. So see you all there and then. Safe travels home. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. I think Sunny has some housekeeping announcements before I do the closing remarks.
Thank you, Gaurav. This is the only session where we get to watch a beautiful video, apart from all the other sessions that we had the last 3 days. But just a reminder about the closing dinner tonight. It's at room 8. Level 27 at the Landis Hotel. The buses will depart from the lobby at 6:30 p.m. So after the session, you still have time to network with your colleagues and catch up with them before you catch the bus to the closing dinner. We hope to see you all there at the closing dinner. Thank you. Thanks, Carl.
Thank you, Sunny. Now I have exactly 22 minutes to blabber here. But I won't make you suffer through that. I'll try to do it in 2 minutes and give some time back to you. I think we had a very fruitful week. I have a couple of things that I would like to share or remind the community with. The first one, as we said in the beginning of the week, is the relationship of the RIRs with ICANN is changing. In the last 4 years or so, we've constantly talked about INR transition. And now that it has been done, we need to do the follow-up work with the same amount of diligence that we did the INR transition work. Probably means a lot more, work for Izumi there and Aftab and, But, as a community, I think we need to be very conscious that now we have more responsibility than before. We simply can't just blame the USG anymore, even though you can probably blame them for a lot of other things. So in terms of being a guardian to the resources, we have greater accountability in the process. So let's participate in the ASO review. we'll charter the working group. The mailing emails would go out. Please participate, give feedback. The other one is, with a bunch of discussions this week, during our lunch with the policy SIG chairs, Sumon mentioned something that, hey, we finally got some new V6 policy. For a while, we are getting only V4 policies. And as one of our earlier friends, Randy Bush, liked to say, arranging deck chairs on the Titanic. So I would hope that we see more V6 deployment and continued effort towards that front. I mean, you saw the measurement report about how India went to about 50% within a year. And hopefully we'll see more of those changes coming through throughout the region so that we don't have to worry about V4 addresses anymore. Again, having said those two things, thank you for coming. Please keep the participation in the policy process. If you have gone through our survey report from last year, one of the weakest part of the engagement we do and the feedback was we have very, very weak participation in the policy process. That has been the general feedback, and that has been the experience of the EC as well. So there is a lot of technical things, there is a lot of interesting stuff, but please do participate in the dry policy process. We'll try to make it as interesting as we can, but let's not let it go on its own, because that will have detrimental effect to the entire internet in future. And obviously the last thing, thank you to everyone. Thank you to Paul and the staff. Can I have all the APNIC staff stand up so that we can give you a big applause? So yeah, they keep the organization running, while we go on with our jobs. So thank you very much. And obviously we thank the host, TWNIC, and the Taichung City Government. I think hopefully you'll spend some more time here. There is a free tour of the city tomorrow, organized by the city. I think there are still some seats open on that, or I don't know if the booking has closed. But you can go and do that. And having said that, I really would hope to see you at the next APNIC meeting in Apricot and Sanog in Kathmandu. As I said, still some postcards here with us. Come and get that. Bring a jacket when you come to Kathmandu. It will be pretty cold. Just friendly advice. And you don't need a jacket to go to Numea, but you will need a jacket in Kathmandu. But apart from that, thank you very much. We'll see you next time, and I officially declare the meeting as closed. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurav, and thank you, the EC, as well, for this session. I'd like to invite all the sponsors to come onto the stage, please, so we can take a sponsor's photograph. And after that, all the APNIC staff and the board members, and after that, all the TWNIC staff and the volunteers. Fellows? And the fellows, yes, afterwards the fellows. Please, can I have the sponsors? If you are representing the organization here listed on the banner here, please come forward.